47 degrees in Dallas tomorrow. That's not the unusual part. It is what happens 36 hours after that. Your weekend plans might need to change, and I'm going to tell you exactly when, city by city, in the next 3 minutes. But first, let me show you what's already happening. Right now, 12 million people across the South are dealing with temperatures 20 degrees below normal. Schools in Atlanta closed today. Roads in Nashville already icing over, and this is before the main system even arrives. Here's what you need to know by the end of this video. Specific timing for your city, which day will be worst, and the one factor that could make this significantly worse than current forecasts suggest. I'll have that for you at the 18-minute mark. Drop your location in the comments right now. Tomorrow's video will include personalized timing for the most requested cities, and based on what I am seeing in the models this afternoon, you are going to want that information. Let me give you the timing for the major metros first. Chicago, you're looking at the worst conditions Friday evening into Saturday morning. We're talking temperatures dropping from 38 degrees Friday afternoon to 19 by midnight. New York, your window is slightly later. Saturday morning brings 23 degrees, but it's the wind that concerns me. We could see gusts to 40 miles per hour. That creates a wind chill around 6 degrees. Boston, you're in a similar boat, but temperatures might actually be colder. 18 degrees Saturday with those same wind concerns. Now here's where the models start disagreeing, and this is important. The European model has been consistent for 3 days, showing this system moving faster. If that's correct, the worst conditions clear out by Sunday afternoon across the Northeast. The American GFS model suggests the cold hangs on longer. Sunday night could still see temperatures in the teens from Philadelphia northward. We'll know which model is right by tomorrow morning's data. That's the first thing I'll address in tomorrow's video. Let me walk through this region by region, and I want to be specific because the details matter for your planning. Starting in the South, and this is where things get interesting. Houston, you're at 71 degrees right now. Tomorrow afternoon, 63. That's pleasant. Friday brings the change. By Friday evening, we are talking about 39 degrees with rain transitioning to sleet. The question isn't if you'll see ice, it's how much. Current thinking suggests a glaze, maybe a tenth of an inch. But here's the complicating factor I mentioned earlier, and we'll get to that in a few minutes. San Antonio sees a similar progression, but potentially more severe. Thursday night into Friday, temperatures crash from the 60s to the 30s in about 6 hours. Any precipitation during that window becomes ice immediately. We are looking at possible accumulations up to a quarter inch on elevated surfaces. That shuts down a city that doesn't have the infrastructure for it. Austin, you rewrite in the bullseye for this. 58 tomorrow, then Friday afternoon brings freezing rain starting around 2 p.m. This continues into Friday night. Duration matters here. 6 to 8 hours of freezing precipitation means accumulation builds up. Power lines, tree branches, overpasses. I know you dealt with this in 2021. This doesn't look as severe as that event, but it's serious enough to warrant preparation today. Let me shift to Louisiana. New Orleans, your forecast has me concerned for different reasons. Rain arrives Thursday night, heavy at times. Friday morning, temperatures hover right around 32 degrees. That's the danger zone. We might see sleet mixing in, but the bigger issue is flooding. 3 to 5 inches of rain before the cold air arrives. Streets that flood easily, you know which ones. They'll be impassable before the ice even becomes a factor. Baton Rouge faces similar rainfall concerns. 4 inches possible. And actually, let me correct that. Looking at the latest model run, some of the higher resolution models are showing localized amounts up to 6 inches in spots. The cold air arrives Friday afternoon, but by then, most precipitation should be ending. Your ice risk is lower than cities farther west. Shreveport, you are in that transition zone. This is where forecasts get tricky. Thursday night could bring either freezing rain or sleet depending on exact temperatures. We're talking about the difference between 31 degrees and 33 degrees. That 2-degree spread determines whether you wake up to a glaze or nothing. Check back tomorrow because overnight model runs will refine this significantly. Moving into Arkansas, Little Rock, you are looking at Thursday night into Friday. Ice accumulations possibly reaching 0.3 of an inch. That's enough to cause widespread power outages. The timing is particularly bad. This happens during the evening commute Thursday. Roads will deteriorate rapidly between 5 p.m. and 8 p.m. If you can leave work early Thursday, do it. Memphis has a slightly different timeline. Your ice window opens later Thursday night around 11 p.m. and continues through Friday morning, accumulations potentially reaching a quarter inch. But you also have a temperature drop worth noting. Friday afternoon, you will be at 28 degrees. Saturday morning drops to 18. That is a 10-degree slide, and any ice that formed stays frozen for an extended period. Tennessee cities, let's talk about your situation. Nashville, you've already been cold. I know that. 2 weeks of below normal temperatures wears on people. This system doesn't give you a break. Thursday night brings a wintry mix, transitioning to all snow Friday morning. We are not talking about significant snow accumulation, maybe an inch or two, but as the ice underneath that's the problem. Sleet and freezing rain first, then snow on top. That creates treacherous conditions that linger. Knoxville, your elevation works against you here. The Smokies and surrounding terrain create microclimates. Valley locations might see mostly rain transitioning to snow. Higher elevations could see several inches. The I-40 corridor through the mountains will be particularly hazardous Friday morning through Friday afternoon. If you are traveling that route, seriously reconsider or delay until Saturday. Chattanooga sits in a bowl, and that matters. Cold air pools there. Thursday night temperatures drop to 30 degrees while Knoxville is still at 34. You'll see ice forming earlier and lasting longer. Precipitation starts as freezing rain Thursday evening around 7 p.m. This continues for 4 to 6 hours before transitioning to sleet, then snow. Total ice accumulation could reach 0.2 of an inch. Let me jump to the Midwest because the timing here affects when the system reaches the east. St. Louis, you are the early warning sign for everyone else. Wednesday night into Thursday morning, you see the first round. Light, freezing drizzle possible mainly north of the city. Thursday afternoon brings a break. Then Thursday night, the main event. Heavy snow develops after midnight Thursday. Friday morning commute looks bad. 3 to 5 inches of snow by 8 a.m. with temperatures around 22 degrees. Kansas City faces a similar timeline but potentially worse conditions. Thursday night, snow develops heavy at times. We could see snowfall rates exceeding an inch per hour between 2 a.m. and 6 a.m. Friday. By Friday morning, 6 to 9 inches on the ground. Winds pick up Friday afternoon, gusting to 35 miles per hour. That creates blowing snow, reduced visibility. Friday evening travel looks nearly impossible. Omaha, you are in the heaviest snow band based on current modeling. Thursday night through Friday brings 8 to 12 inches. That's a shovel multiple times type of event. Temperatures Friday afternoon only reach 18 degrees. Saturday morning bottoms out around 8 degrees. Wind chills Saturday morning could hit 20 below zero. If you're not prepared for extended cold, get prepared today. Des Moines sees slightly less snow, 6 to 10 inches, but your cold is comparable. Friday night temperatures drop to 12 degrees. Saturday morning, 6 degrees. Sunday morning doesn't improve much, 9 degrees. You are locked in cold air for the entire weekend. The one piece of good news, and this is based on the European model, is that Sunday afternoon might see some moderation. Temperatures could climb back to the mid-20s by Sunday evening. Here's that complicating factor I promised earlier. There's a secondary system developing behind this one. The models don't agree on its track yet. If it trends farther north, cities from Oklahoma through Arkansas into Tennessee could see another round of wintry precipitation Sunday night into Monday. This isn't in the forecast officially yet, but it is something I am watching closely. By tomorrow, we'll have much better clarity on whether this second system becomes a factor. Minneapolis, your forecast is straightforward, which is almost refreshing. Thursday brings light snow, 1 to 3 inches. Not a big deal for you, but the cold behind it is notable even by your standards. Friday morning, 4 degrees below zero. Saturday morning, 8 below. Sunday morning, 6 below. You are stuck in the deep freeze for 3 days. Wind chills Saturday morning approach 30 below zero. That's dangerous cold. Limit outdoor exposure. Milwaukee, similar story. Light snow Thursday, 2 to 4 inches. Then temperatures crater. Friday night, 2 below zero. Saturday night, 5 below. Sunday offers minimal improvement with highs only reaching 12 degrees. Lake Michigan creates its own weather patterns, so areas right along the shore might see lake effect snow bands Saturday afternoon. Additional accumulations there could reach 2 to 3 inches in localized spots. Detroit, you are in an interesting position. Thursday, a snow misses you mostly, passing to your south, but Friday brings lake effect snow off Lake Huron. Northeast winds at 20 to 30 miles per hour drive moisture inland. Areas north of 8 Mile Road could see 3 to 6 inches Friday into Saturday. Temperatures Friday afternoon, 21 degrees. Saturday morning, 14. That lake effect snow continues Saturday, adding another inch or two in persistent bands. Let's transition to the mid-Atlantic. Washington, D.C., your forecast has uncertainty written all over it. Thursday night into Friday, precipitation develops. The question is whether you are warm enough for rain or cold enough for snow. Right now, that line sits directly over the city. Northern suburbs might see 2 to 4 inches of snow. Downtown possibly sees a mix. Southern suburbs likely stay all rain. This is a forecast that could shift 50 miles in either direction with tomorrow's model runs. Don't make firm plans yet. Baltimore, you are slightly colder than D.C. Snow looks more likely for you, 3 to 6 inches possible Friday morning through Friday afternoon. But there's a wild card. If the storm tracks 20 miles farther east, you could see a period of sleet or freezing rain mixing in. That would cut snow totals but create ice problems. Again, tomorrow's data is critical here. Richmond sits in that transition zone I mentioned. Thursday night starts as rain. Friday morning, temperatures hover around 34 degrees. If they drop 2 degrees, you're talking about snow. If they stay where forecast models suggest, it remains rain. The difference is everything for impact. Rain is manageable. Snow accumulating on Friday morning roads changes the entire day. Let me address Philadelphia specifically because there's been a lot of questions about this forecast. Friday morning through Friday afternoon, snow develops. Current thinking suggests 4 to 8 inches, with the higher amounts in northern suburbs. But the coastal influence could modify this. If the storm strengthens off the coast, you might see heavier amounts. If it stays weaker, you trend toward the lower end. Temperatures Friday afternoon, 28 degrees, Saturday morning, 20 degrees. That keeps any snow that falls locked in place. Allentown, you are typically colder than Philadelphia, and that holds true here. Friday brings snow, possibly heavy at times. 6 to 10 inches looks reasonable right now. The Lehigh Valley tends to overperform in these setups. You are at elevation compared to the I-95 corridor. That extra few hundred feet means colder temperatures. Any precipitation that falls is snow, no mixing concerns. New York City, let me be direct about this. Friday afternoon into Friday night, snow develops. The amount depends entirely on storm track. If it passes 50 miles offshore, you see 2 to 4 inches. If it tracks closer, right off Long Island, you could see 8 to 12 inches. This is a classic nor'easter setup where 20 miles makes a 4 to 6 inch difference in snowfall. Saturday morning temperatures drop to 23 degrees. Wind gusts to 40 miles per hour create significant blowing snow. Visibility could be a quarter mile or less at times. Hartford, you repositioned for potentially significant snow. Friday night into Saturday morning, this system could dump 8 to 14 inches on you. Interior Connecticut typically does well in these patterns. You are far enough from the coast to avoid mixing, but close enough to get moisture. Temperatures Saturday morning, 17 degrees. Sunday morning, 15 degrees. That snow stays on the ground well into next week. Providence, your forecast mirrors Hartford closely. 8 to 12 inches Friday night into Saturday. Coastal areas might see less if any ocean influence keeps temperatures slightly warmer. But downtown and points west, you are looking at plowable snow. Maybe multiple plows worth. Saturday morning commute will be challenging even if plows work overnight. Boston, here where the intensity could maximize. Friday night, snow develops heavy at times. Saturday morning continues. We are talking potential for 12 to 18 inches in parts of the metro area. North Shore possibly seeing 20 inches if everything comes together. This is because the storm could be deepening rapidly as it passes east of Cape Cod. That intensification draws in more moisture. Snowfall rates Saturday morning could exceed 2 inches per hour. When you combine that with 40-mile-per-hour wind gusts, you reapproaching blizzard conditions. Visibility near zero at times. Saturday afternoon, the snow ends, but damage is done. Temperatures Saturday night, 16 degrees. Sunday morning, 14 degrees. Portland, Maine, you are in the jackpot zone potentially. Saturday morning, this storm could still be intensifying as it moves past you. 12 to 20 inches possible with the higher amounts in the greater Portland area. Coastal flooding is also a concern. Saturday morning high tide occurs around 9 a.m. If the storm is still producing strong onshore winds at that time, minor coastal flooding possible in the usual vulnerable spots. Temperatures Saturday, 18 degrees. Sunday, 16 degrees. Monday doesn't offer much relief, 22 degrees. Let me cycle back to some cities I haven't mentioned yet. Charlotte, your situation is complex. Thursday afternoon, rain develops. Thursday night, temperatures drop toward freezing. We might see a transition to sleet or freezing rain late Thursday night into Friday morning. The duration matters. If this happens for 2 hours, minimal impact. If it extends for 4 to 6 hours, we're talking about accumulating ice. Friday afternoon, temperatures climb back to 40 degrees, so any ice melts quickly. But Friday morning could be very difficult. Raleigh faces a similar scenario. Rain to start, possible transition to wintry mix. The models show this happening around 3 a.m. Friday. By 10 a.m. Friday, you re-back to rain as temperatures climb to 36 degrees. That window from 3 a.m. to 10 a.m. is the danger zone. Ice on overpasses and bridges likely. Untreated roads become hazardous. Greensboro sits at higher elevation than Charlotte or Raleigh. That means you re-colder. Thursday night into Friday morning brings sleet and freezing rain. Accumulations possibly reaching 1/10 to 2/10 of an inch. This is more significant than your neighbors to the east. Power outage potential increases with these amounts. Friday afternoon warms to 38 degrees, ending the ice threat, but the damage may already be done. Let me touch on some Ohio cities. Cleveland, lake effect snow is your story. Friday into Saturday, northwest winds drive moisture off Lake Erie. Snowfall bands set up east of the city. Mentor, Chardon, those areas could see 6 to 10 inches. Downtown Cleveland sees much less, maybe 2 to 4 inches. This continues through Saturday. Sunday brings a break, but temperatures remain cold. Friday night, 17 degrees. Saturday night, 15 degrees. Columbus sits inland, so lake effect doesn't apply. But Friday brings light snow, 1 to 3 inches. The cold is the bigger story. Saturday morning, 12 degrees. Sunday morning, 10 degrees. Monday morning, 14 degrees. You are in a sustained cold snap. Nothing melts for several days. Cincinnati, you are right on the line for wintry precipitation Thursday night. Rain develops Thursday evening. Around midnight, we might see a transition to sleet as temperatures drop to 32 degrees. Friday morning could feature a coating to an inch of sleet before transitioning back to rain as temperatures climb Friday afternoon. This creates very slippery conditions during the morning commute. Let me address some southern cities that haven't been covered. Mobile, you are far enough south that cold air struggles to reach you. Thursday night into Friday brings heavy rain. 3 to 4 inches likely. Flooding in low-lying areas, but temperatures stay above freezing. Friday morning, 38 degrees. Still chilly for you, but not freezing. Pensacola has a similar forecast. Rain, heavy at times Thursday night. Temperatures Friday morning drop to 36 degrees. You might see a few sleet pellets mixing in if temperatures drop another degree or two, but significant ice looks unlikely. The rain is the main concern, not the cold. Tallahassee, you are in that transition zone I keep mentioning. Thursday night, rain. Friday morning, temperatures right around 33 degrees. Models suggest you stay just warm enough to avoid ice, but this is close. A 2-degree change in either direction flips the forecast from rain to sleet. Monitor updates closely. Birmingham faces ice potential Thursday night into Friday morning. This is more concerning than cities to your south. Freezing rain possible between midnight Thursday and 8 a.m. Friday. Accumulations up to 1/10 of an inch. Combined with hilly terrain, untreated roads become very dangerous. Friday afternoon brings relief as temperatures climb to 42 degrees. Let me address Midwest cities I've skipped. Indianapolis, Thursday night into Friday brings a wintry mix. This starts as freezing rain around 10 p.m. Thursday. Transitions to sleet after midnight. Then snow Friday morning. By Friday afternoon, 2 to 4 inches of snow on top of ice. This compound effect makes travel nearly impossible Friday morning. Temperatures Friday afternoon, 24 degrees. Saturday morning, 16 degrees. Fort Wayne sees heavier snow. Friday morning into Friday afternoon, 3 to 6 inches. You are positioned farther north, so less ice concern, more snow, but the cold behind it is severe. Saturday morning, 12 degrees below zero. Sunday morning, 8 degrees below zero. Wind chills approaching 30 below. Grand Rapids, lake effect snow becomes a major factor. Friday night through Sunday, bands off Lake Michigan dump snow repeatedly. Some areas could see 12 to 18 inches in persistent lake effect bands. This is on top of 3 to 5 inches from the main system Friday. Temperatures Saturday morning, 8 degrees below zero. Wind chills Saturday afternoon, 25 below zero. Let me jump to the Rockies briefly. Denver, URE cold but dry. Thursday through Saturday, temperatures stay in the 20s for highs, teens for lows. Sunday offers slight improvement, upper 20s. No precipitation expected, but the sustained cold is notable. Salt Lake City, similar story. Cold and dry. Thursday high, 32 degrees. Friday high, 28 degrees. Saturday high, 30 degrees. You are locked in a pattern that doesn't allow for warm-ups. Colorado Springs, you are slightly colder than Denver due to elevation. Thursday high, 24 degrees. Friday high, 21 degrees. Saturday high, 25 degrees. Nights drop into the single digits. Let me cover some western cities quickly. Seattle, your forecast is wet but mild. Thursday through Saturday, rain. Totals could reach 2 to 3 inches, but temperatures stay in the mid-40s. Snow level stays above 5,000 feet in the Cascades. No lowland snow expected. Portland, Oregon, identical story. Rain, heavy at times. Friday could see an inch of rain. Temperatures in the mid-40s. Rivers rise but likely stay below flood stage based on current forecasts. San Francisco stays quiet. Partly cloudy, highs in the upper 50s. No rain in the 7-day forecast. Overnight lows in the mid-40s. Fairly typical January weather for you. Los Angeles, sunny and mild. Thursday through Saturday, highs in the upper 60s. Overnight lows in the upper 40s. Santa Ana winds possible Sunday into Monday, but that is beyond our current forecast window. Phoenix, you are warm and dry. Highs in the upper 60s, lows in the mid-40s. Typical winter pattern for you. No changes expected. Let me return to some East Coast cities. Newark, your forecast closely follows New York City. Friday night into Saturday, snow likely. 6 to 10 inches possible. Saturday morning temperatures, 21 degrees. Wind creates blowing snow. Travel becomes very difficult. Bridgeport faces similar conditions. Friday night snow develops. Saturday morning continues, 8 to 12 inches likely. Coastal location might see slightly less if temperatures stay marginally warmer, but significant snow looks likely regardless. New Haven, you could see some of the highest totals. 10 to 14 inches Friday night into Saturday. You are positioned where the storm could be strongest. Temperature Saturday morning, 19 degrees. Sunday morning, 17 degrees. Let me address some southern cities I've missed. Jackson, Mississippi, Thursday night into Friday morning brings ice concerns. Freezing rain possible for several hours. Accumulations up to 1/10 of an inch. Power outages possible. Friday afternoon temperatures climb to 44 degrees, melting any ice that formed. Monroe, Louisiana, similar timeline. Thursday night, freezing rain develops. Friday morning continues. Quarter-inch accumulation possible. This is enough for significant impacts. Tree damage, power outages. Friday afternoon improvement begins as temperatures rise to 40 degrees. Beaumont, Texas, you are far enough east that you catch the ice threat. Thursday night into Friday morning, freezing rain. Accumulations possibly reaching 2/10 of an inch. This is more than Houston sees. Your location puts you in a zone where cold air lingers longer. Friday afternoon, temperatures only climb to 38 degrees. Ice may not melt completely until Saturday. Let me address the plains. Wichita, Thursday night brings snow, 3 to 6 inches by Friday morning, then the cold arrives. Friday afternoon, 22 degrees, Saturday morning, 8 degrees, Sunday morning, 6 degrees. This is brutal cold even for Kansas in January. Topeka sees similar snow amounts. 4 to 7 inches Thursday night into Friday morning. Saturday morning temperatures, 6 degrees. Sunday morning, 4 degrees. Wind chills Sunday morning approach 20 below zero. Lincoln, Nebraska, you're in heavy snow. Thursday night through Friday, 6 to 9 inches. Saturday morning temperature, 2 degrees below zero. Sunday morning, 4 degrees below zero. Wind chills Saturday morning, 25 below zero. This is dangerous cold. Outdoor exposure should be limited to minutes. Let me touch on some southern cities. Charleston, South Carolina. Thursday night brings rain. Heavy at times, 2 to 3 inches possible, but temperatures stay above freezing. Friday morning, 40 degrees. No winter weather concerns for you. Just heavy rain and possible flooding in downtown areas that flood regularly. Savannah faces similar conditions. Heavy rain Thursday night into Friday morning. Temperatures stay in the low 40s. Flooding in low-lying areas possible, but no ice concerns. Jacksonville stays warm enough. Rain Thursday night, temperatures in the mid-40s. Friday morning, 43 degrees. Coastal flooding possible during high tide. Friday morning, but winter weather is not a factor. Oklahoma City, let me address your situation specifically. Thursday afternoon into Thursday night, this is your critical window. Freezing rain develops around 4 p.m. Thursday, continues through midnight, accumulations possibly reaching a quarter inch. This is enough for widespread power outages. Roads become skating rinks. Friday morning temperatures 28 degrees. Ice remains frozen. Friday afternoon only climbs to 32 degrees. Saturday morning 18 degrees. You are dealing with ice impacts for an extended period. Tulsa faces similar timing but possibly worse accumulations. Thursday evening through Thursday night, freezing rain. Some models suggest up to 4/10 of an inch ice accumulation. That's severe ice storm territory, tree damage widespread, power outages lasting days possible. Friday temperatures stay below freezing all day. Ice doesn't melt until Saturday afternoon at earliest. Here's the one thing nobody's talking about yet. Next week's pattern. This cold air doesn't just exit stage right after this system. We're resetting up a blocking pattern that could lock us in cold for another 7 to 10 days. I'll have much more detail on that tomorrow, but prepare mentally for an extended cold period. Let me give you the broader pattern view. We have an omega block setting up over North America. That's a high-pressure ridge over the west, low pressure in the middle, and another ridge trying to build over the Atlantic. This pattern is remarkably persistent. Once it establishes, it doesn't break down easily. The cold air we are seeing this week is only the beginning. Models suggest this pattern could persist through mid-February. What does that mean practically? Cities in the south that see ice this week, you don't get a warm-up to melt it completely. Temperatures might climb above freezing during afternoons, but barely. Nights stay well below freezing. That freeze-thaw cycle continues, making road conditions hazardous for days. For the Midwest and Northeast, you are looking at sustained cold unlike what we've seen so far this winter. We are talking multiple days where high temperatures reach 20 degrees, overnight lows in the single digits or below zero. This isn't a quick hit of cold followed by moderation. This is a pattern change. Now, models can be wrong about pattern persistence. Sometimes these blocks break down faster than anticipated. Sometimes they last longer. We want to know for certain until we re-in-it. But based on 3 different model families showing similar solutions, confidence is increasing that extended cold is coming. Let me address forecast uncertainty directly. Everything I've told you tonight is based on models as of this afternoon. Tonight's model runs will either confirm this forecast or adjust it. By tomorrow morning, I'll have updated data. That is why you need to check back tomorrow. Leave your city in the comments, and I'll prioritize those locations in tomorrow's update. The European model has been performing better lately on storm timing. If tomorrow's European run shifts this system's track, snowfall forecasts for the East Coast could change by 6 inches or more. That's not exaggeration. In these setups, small track changes create enormous impact differences. The GFS model has been too slow with this system. If it speeds up to match the European, timing improves. Friday morning snow starts earlier, ends earlier. That changes when roads can be treated, when travel becomes safe again. I want to be clear about something. When I give you a range like 6 to 12 inches of snow, that's not me hedging. That's me showing you the spread in model solutions. Some models show 6, some show 12. Until we get closer, that range is the honest forecast. Anyone giving you an exact number right now is overconfident. Same applies to ice forecations. When I say 1/10 to 2/10 of an inch, that 1/10 of an inch difference is massive for impacts. 1/10 inch causes problems. 2/10 inch causes disasters. The models show both possibilities for different cities. We need better data to narrow those ranges. Here's what I'm watching overnight. If the low-pressure system develops faster, the entire timeline accelerates by 6 to 12 hours. Southern cities see ice Wednesday night instead of Thursday night. Northeast sees snow Friday morning instead of Friday afternoon. That's a huge planning difference. If the low tracks 50 miles farther west, the rain-snow line shifts dramatically. Cities expecting snow get rain. Cities expecting rain get snow. We've seen this happen before in January storms. That is why confidence in specific precipitation types is only moderate right now. The secondary system I mentioned earlier, that's the wild card for early next week. If it develops and tracks similar to the first system, we are talking about a 1-2 punch. Cities just recovering from the first round get hit again. That compounds impacts significantly. Power crews still working on outages from Storm 1 now face Storm 2. That extends restoration times. But that secondary system might not develop at all. Or it could track differently, affecting different areas. Right now, models disagree completely on this. Some show a significant system, some show minimal development. We'll know much more in 24 to 48 hours. Let me pivot back to something actionable. If you in an area expecting ice, prepare now, not tomorrow morning when everyone else is. Tonight. Get your supplies, charge your devices, fill your gas tank. If you have a generator, test it. Make sure you have fuel. If you have a fireplace, stock wood. These aren't alarmist suggestions. These are practical preparations for potential power outages. For cities expecting heavy snow, make sure you have food in the house. Not because you'll be snowed in for weeks, but because why deal with grocery stores during a storm if you don't have to? Make sure prescriptions are filled. If you have pets, make sure you have their food and supplies. I know some of you are tired of winter weather. I get it. 2 months of below normal temperatures wears people down. This doesn't help, but it's the reality we're dealing with. The pattern isn't shifting toward warm anytime soon. We need to adapt our expectations and prepare accordingly. Tomorrow's video will dive deeper into the day-by-day evolution. I'll show you how confidence changes or improves with overnight model data. I'll address the most requested cities from tonight's comments, and I'll give you the latest thinking on that secondary system and the extended cold pattern. Timing for tomorrow's video, I am aiming for 6 p.m. Eastern. That gives me all day to analyze fresh model runs and put together the most accurate forecast possible. If significant changes occur earlier, I might post an update sooner. Follow the community tab for any alerts. Before I go, I want to acknowledge the seriousness of this situation for southern cities. Ice storms are your biggest threat. They more dangerous than snow. They cause more damage. They last longer. They harder to prepare for. If you row in the ice zone, take this seriously. This isn't northerners overreacting to winter weather you are not used to. This is a genuine threat that requires genuine preparation. For northern cities, heavy snow and extreme cold are dangerous too. Just because you are used to winter doesn't mean you should underestimate this system. Blizzard conditions are blizzard conditions regardless of latitude. Temperatures 20 below zero are dangerous whether you are in Minnesota or Michigan. Everyone needs to take this seriously while avoiding panic. There's a balance. Prepare appropriately, stay informed, adjust plans as needed, but don't catastrophize beyond what the data supports. One more time, leave your location in the comments. I read every single one. Tomorrow's forecast will include as many of your cities as possible with specific timing and impacts. The story is evolving. Model data overnight will refine details. You need that updated information to make good decisions. Thank you for watching. Thank you for trusting me with your weather information. I don't take that responsibility lightly. I promise to give you the most accurate, most honest forecast I can based on available data. When I am uncertain, I'll tell you. When I am confident, I'll tell you that too. That's the deal. See you tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern. Stay safe.